Hi guys, this is Shannon from Reptile and welcome back to our channel. I've got gorgeous Hannibal II joining me, and today's video is going to be all about our adult blue-tongue lizards that gave birth to 9 babies. So we're going to go over a little bit about that, how it's going now with the babies, how many we've got left. We're also going to go over how we made up these gorgeous plant settings, and we're going to reveal a new arrival that's going to be going into their new enclosure. So we've got a few little exciting things in this video, but let's dive in. Now, people close to me would know through my previous jobs, university, sort of everything I've done up until this date. I've had a lot of experience with baby reptiles, especially baby crocodiles, processing them, arranging for them to be sold off. But it definitely is something else when it's your own collection, your own pairing, and you get babies from that. So it's a bit of a funny story actually. Last year, I did try to pair up some adult blue-tongue lizards, Hannibal and Lizzy, and I just don't think Hannibal had it in him. And yeah, didn't get babies that year. And it was getting late into the season, and I thought this year would be a total miss again. And I was actually about to leave for work, and I do a round of all the reptiles. I go around, check all of my enclosures, and I found a baby in the treehouse. And then once I spotted that guy, I started spotting little ones everywhere. And because they're in a big outdoor enclosure, I actually had to climb into the enclosure, take everything out, and yeah, dig through every inch of soil. And I just kept finding baby after baby, and they were so adorable. And the reason why we do have to take them out of their adult enclosures and we can't leave them with the mothers is because blue-tongue lizards are pretty independent from day dot. So from when the mother's given birth to them. So there is a risk that the mum and dad could potentially eat the babies. So it's best to remove the babies and put them in their own little setups. Now, as you would know, Reptile Way, we build things for people locally for their reptiles. We also do a lot of tutorials showing you how we build things, so the people who can't get access to our products, they can go about it and build it themselves. So we actually had a lot of baby little hides lying around the place. So we set all of the babies up in their individual enclosures, put their little hides, and because we only had 9 babies, for our business, we could do a little bit more than what some of the big time breeders do, and that's just because they have so many animals. They do have to do things to a time limit and make sure they can easily clean, check their babies. But here at Reptile Way, because I just had 9 individuals, they really were living the life. So they had their own baby hides. They also had a UVB light, a nice large tub set up. And then with babies, we do use paper towel as a substrate instead of loose substrate, because the babies can be a little bit stupid, eat the substrate by accident. It could lead to impaction, so their digestive system becoming blocked up, and we don't really want to do that. So when I sell these animals to people, I want to give them the assurance that these guys are healthy animals. I've sort of kept them in a sanitary setup to avoid any, I guess, avoidable health complications. So that's the reason why the setups look a little bit more sanitary, a little bit more basic. It just means I can sell a completely healthy animal. But these setups are pretty cool because it allowed me to observe, I guess, their normal behaviors. So, you know, I'd feed them in the morning, then they'd bask on their little hides and with their UVB lights for a few hours in the day. And because the tubs were so high, I didn't need a lid because they couldn't climb out. So I could literally pop my head in every now and again and have a look to see what they were doing. So it was really cool observing all the babies, all their behaviours with these setups. Now, once I'd got all of them set up in their baby tubs, now came the next little challenge, was making sure all these babies were, I guess, eating regularly and growing and putting on that body mass that's needed. So as soon as they were put in their baby setups, they were offered food the first day, which they didn't eat, which is very, very normal. But when I offered them food the second day, all 9 individuals ate. So that was really cool. And the food that I just offered them was the Ziwi Peak cat food, of all the different flavours really. It just has higher protein, it being cat food, and you generally want to stick to beef, rabbit, chicken, that type of thing, avoid the fish. So I just had some of that with all different diced veggies, a little bit of fruit as the occasional treat, and then some cut up organs, some roux meat, that type of thing, with some calcium powder, multivitamin. So they're on a very good diet, which they seem to enjoy quite a lot. So I offered those different types of food on the second day. All of them ate, and they ate every single day. But when they were first starting to feed, it was quite cute to observe, because they were very shy at the start. So they'd hide under the paper towel or hide in their hides, and you had to try find where they were hiding, and then you could sort of slide the food up to them, and I'd get feeding tongs to move it around, and then they'd just dive in and eat. But as time progressed, they got a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more confident, and they started to come out of their hides to eat, which was really, really cool. So yeah, it was just interesting seeing the progression of them being super shy, super timid, to them getting their little personalities and being absolutely great feeders. So I started off with 9 babies, and now I'm actually down to 2. So we've got good old Hannibal the second here, and we've also got good old Blondie. So I've only got 2 babies left, which is a bit of a, it's great to see them go to good homes, but it is sort of bittersweet, because they are really, really cute to always come home to and just check out what they're doing. But a favourite part of this whole process is because Reptile Way is a fairly new business, and we did a lot of building at the start of this business. Now we've transitioned a lot into education, and now we're going more into breeding. It was really cool meeting the people that were going to be having these guys in their lives, and it was also really useful that I could direct them to all the care guide videos we created, all the build videos, to give them all the tools they needed to give the lizards that we had bred here and the best homes, the best chance possible. And along the way, we did meet some really awesome people and some really cool reasons as to why they wanted the lizard. Now, the first one to go was Pebbles, and it was pretty cute. The story behind Pebbles, there was a fella who wanted to get a baby blue tongue lizard for his missus because she had seen our post and was talking about it and said she really liked Pebbles. And he actually did it for a surprise for her. And really, really nice couple. They do a lot of wildlife photography, that thing, but that was really, really cute as somebody doing something nice for somebody else. Quite a few went to families with kids who I guess wanted to be reptile enthusiasts when they grow up, and they wanted to start off with beginner pets. So giving them an introduction into the reptile world, that was definitely a very good experience to be a part of. And then because at the moment I do work in the disability sector, so we had a lovely young client who was gifted one and gifted an enclosure setup. And yeah, it was pretty amazing to see how these two connected, the lizard and the client. They just hit it off from the get-go. So yeah, I found that a pretty cool experience and a new experience for Reptile Way as a business. So yeah, a lot of happiness with all these babies and that they've gone to good homes. That's really what any breeder wants. So next up, I'm just going to show you what plants we used, how we made the soil for these gorgeous pots. So if you're in the Darwin area, there's a shop called Barley Dimensions at Gateway. It has stunning pieces for your house. So definitely, if you haven't been there, check it out. And I actually saw these pieces a few weeks ago and was waiting for a bit of payday, but then I ended up getting a Christmas voucher. So yeah, I went back the other day, got them and set them up. So we're just going to go over a little bit about how we set them up, what plants we're using, and yeah, you can do it at home if you'd like. So here we've got all the products you'll need for planting these gorgeous plants. All these you can get from Bunnings besides the small animal bedding. You need to go to Pet Barn for that. But we're going to start off with some lava rock here. It's going to act as the drainage layer. It's a totally stunning rock with the colour of it. You can also mix the smaller particles into your substrate for an airy substrate. Using this particular product, the Ferns potting mix, and I haven't tried it before, so I'm going to use half of that and half of that mixture I had created. And also that first bottom layer I did put some charcoal in, and yeah, just topped it up. I'm creating a little hole in there to put the plant. Now this plant is called a rabbit's foot fern, and it's so cute. It's got like these little fluffy rabbit feet looking like things towards the base of it. Quite a hardy fern. Found it in Bunnings, fell in love with it, so thought I'd better plant it. And yeah, looks quite nice. And I did the same process with the 3-tier one. So we've got the Homalomina plants on the sort of top and the right bottom, and then we've got a rabbit's foot fern on the bottom left. And apologies if I said that plant name wrong. Now before we finish off this video, we actually got a new arrival. This fella's name is Onyx, and it's a hypermelanistic blue tongue lizard. So it's got that beautiful black appearance. And we got this from Reptile Addiction, who the animals that fella has is amazing quality. So good job, Corey, for raising such a stunning animal. And we're actually going to put this guy in a bit of a bigger enclosure setup. And this will just give you some ideas, because you've probably seen in some of the videos our large outdoor setups, our baby tub setups. And this is just an example of how you can set up a tank by using some of the DIY videos on our YouTube channel. So we're going to pop this guy into its new home. Now before we put Onyx into his or her new home, we're going to be topping up the water, spraying down the substrate to increase that humidity. The combination I've used for the main part of the substrate, small animal bedding and the coir, and then on the right we've got a big sphagnum moss digging pit. But there we go, Onyx chilling out on the nice toasty basking spot there. Looking a little bit like a stunned mullet, trying to figure out where am I, what the hell is going on. But then you can see Onyx starts to relax, but this piece just looks absolutely stunning. Now I've got 2 UVB lights, one here, one here. And then also I've got a small heat bulb because I don't need the temperature to be increased too much because I'm in a warmer climate. So I just want a nice little toasty basking spot. But I just love the slopes of this piece. It's just going to make it easier for Onyx to climb down, to go high, to climb up, to bask. Also, there's a lot of surface area because a lot of space underneath that piece Onyx can access. So it's actually increasing the surface area of the enclosure, which is great and which is what you want to do. Now the next morning I went in to feed Onyx because when I put Onyx in the enclosure, he or she had already been fed that morning. So this is going to be a sign whether Onyx is stressed at all. If your lizard eats after a move, that's a great sign. It means they're not really experiencing stress that much and they feel comfortable enough to feed. Also feeling comfortable enough to come out of their hiding spot and come to their feeding bowl. And this is what we're going to start to do with Onyx. We're going to get Onyx to move around the enclosure over time and come out into the open to feed more, but also actively work for the food and actively work for the food to get Onyx up to an easy access spot, like what I've done with all the other lizards in their outdoor enclosures. And again, I want to mimic hunting. I want that enrichment for Onyx. I just don't want to make it so simple. And especially with adults, they can be prone to gaining weight, obesity quite easily. So if you can encourage them to exercise, that's great. But check out Onyx's hiding spot in relation to the rest of the enclosure. It just utilizes the space quite well. But there you go, there's where Onyx is hiding. But thank you so much guys for watching. A big thank you to good old Hannibal II here, who's done an amazing job. And if you did like the video, it'll help us out by hitting the thumbs up. hit subscribe to be made aware of future content. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye guys.